All right, so hey everybody, I am here with Beth and Megan from the infamous Google Slides group, the most amazing group outside of this one on Facebook. And so they're here today as our first challenge interviewers. So I would like to say hello. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello. No problem. Excited.
Awesome. Yay! I'm so excited too. So if you could just tell me first off, when did you start with VIP Kid?
You want to go first, Beth?
Megan, when did you start with VIP Kid?
I started October 2017, so last October. Yeah. And I think it was like October 17th, 2017.
Awesome.
I started like just as a part-time, it was just a part-time gig for me. I was a brick and mortar teacher, English, 8th grade.
Great. And Beth?
Yeah. And I started just a little bit after her. I think my first day was November 15th, 2017. Mm-hmm. And kind of the same thing. It was a side gig. My husband and I were trying to pay off some debt. And so I was doing it before I went to work as a kindergarten teacher.
Yep. Excellent. All right. So what was your experience when you first started out? You know, this was, if you were back in the fall of 2017, you would have had an interview and a 45-minute mock session, potentially 2 mock sessions. And then you were really just kind of thrown to the wolves, right? Yeah. You were just there and forth. So what was your first experiences? Take me through your first week or your first few months starting off with VIP Kid.
So when I got hired on, I did 1 mock class and I got certified levels 4 and 5, which I had a lot of trials to start with, which I know that maybe still a thing, but mostly when I was starting, what I saw like in the newbie group all the time was, you know, like when you first start, you just teach a bunch of trials, and that's what I did. And I literally grew to hate trials, and I was teaching them all the time, and then it started to kind of taper off. And so like after about, I guess, 3 weeks or so, I had that initial influx of bookings, and then it just kind of declined a little bit. And so I really had to focus on marketing myself, like in my profile and things like that. And I was only certified levels 4 and 5. And from what I could read, like on, you know, forums and stuff online, that it wasn't really like in demand, you know, the upper levels, there's not as many students in the upper levels. And so I sent tickets in, like left and right, sent tickets in to try to get certified levels 3 and 6. I knew I didn't really want to get certified any lower than level 3 because I was used to teaching 8th graders, you know, all day, every day. And so because back then you had to send in a ticket to Fresh Desk to get a new certification. And there wasn't really any sort of protocol. It was just kind of like, it depended on who answered your ticket, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just sent them all in. I sent like, you know, probably 5 tickets a week asking for another certification. And finally I got it. And I got level 3 and level 6 added. And so my bookings started picking up, and I was only working it part-time. So I could, you know, of course say I was fully booked, but I was only teaching like, I think maybe 15 slots a week. And I gradually increased that as I grew to love VIP Kid more. And then I just recently added level 2. So if you can believe it, this whole time I've not been certified. Wow. 2, but I love level 2. It's a little bit tricky for me, but I roll with it and we have fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Beth.
Well, when I first did my mock, I only did 1. I had an amazing mentor. She made me feel super comfortable. We spent the first like 20 minutes just chatting about where we lived, where we were from. It was a really, so I think that helped a lot to kind of put me on the right foot for my mock. I was offered to either do 2 through 5 or pre-VIP only. And as a kindergarten teacher, I was like, okay, pre-VIP, those are my people. So I got that right away. And then I got my first booking the next day, and I got a trial. It was a no-show, but hey, it was something on my schedule.
Yeah.
And so I did a handful of trials, and then I got booked with my Sai, my little baby, who I still see. He's now in level 2. And he was my first major course. And they left me 5 apples with written feedback. And once that happened, I got full. So I really think it's easy to say, do this, do this, do this, do this to get your bookings up. But it really, there are so many different factors and elements that play into it. So one set formula isn't going to work for every person. I
didn't get a feedback for literally like, I guess in 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, I got my first Apple feedback, but I was still getting bookings, but it wasn't until I added more level certifications that I saw an increase.
Awesome. I credit Sai and his sweet mama with all of my early bookings.
That's Sai.
Oh, he's so cute. He got his little face and the little bowl hair. But after 2 weeks of doing pre-VIP, I added level 2. Back then it was still just static. I added level 2, and then every time I pretty much hit that. At the time it was a certain number of classes I think you had to have in the previous level. I asked for the next one. So I just kept adding and adding and adding. I'm definitely still a lower level teacher. I just got certified for level 6 today. My mantra is if they offer it, I'm going to certify in it.
That is my 100%. I agree with you. I'll say it time and time again on the board. Although I don't have a pre-VIP certification, and I don't. But if they offer it, take it.
I know I'm probably not going to be the best level 6 teacher, just like I'm not the best level 5 teacher. But I have my one level 5 kid who I'm best for him.
Right.
So
exactly.
His mom books me because he's 6 years old. So even
That's
I can
awesome.
still be my crazy self, because even though he's level 5, he's 6 years old.
That appeals to him. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that maybe he'll just follow me through level 5 and he'll be my only level 6.
Sweet.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I saw a big kind of life change and switch, because I know Megan did the same thing. Back in June, I quit my brick and mortar job. So I went from teaching 3 classes in the morning before I went to work to teaching between 8 and 10 every morning. So it took a while. If you're thinking of making that jump of changing your schedule, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while for parents to realize, oh, this teacher isn't just opening up this week because she's on vacation. This is her new schedule. Right. And it takes a little while for the LPs to notice, to send you new kids. So nothing in VIP kid land is overnight. And
it isn't. Everything is an investment of time, a slow investment of time. So the 3 of us together then have all been former brick and mortar schools, and we've all left and made it. I did mine in September of last year. So fast forward now to December 12, 2018. So where are you now? Where is your business? Are you priority booking? Are you booking at the Frenzy? If how many are you opening? Like, give us all those details that let us know what your business is like now. So go for it.
So
Megan.
I am teaching every morning about 7 to 8 classes, and then I short notice my weekends. But I've always short noticed my weekends, but I think I don't want to say always. It started whenever I decided to go full time. I was like, you know what, I can do this. I was opening slots like to short notice for the weekends. Right at the 24-hour mark. And for the first 2 weekends I did it, there were some unfilled slots, and I got a little nervous about it, and I started second guessing myself, and I just kept doing it. I kept opening the same slots every weekend, short noticing them. And I guess maybe I picked up an LP's attention or something, because I pretty much stay fully booked for short notice on the weekends. So I had some luck with that, and then I decided to start short noticing PPT slots. And so I short notice, I'm up to 3 a day. And I know that's really not big league, but it's good. I mean, I feel great about it because I'm making an extra, however much that is per class. And so I stay fully booked, but I teach probably, oh gosh, I'd have to look at my stats, but I think I took off this weekend. So I think I'm at, I don't know, maybe 7, I don't know. I mean,
so you're doing those extra 3 classes a day at the $2 short notice booking. So there you go. You're getting $6 extra.
I'm at 68. I'm at 68 for the month. So, I mean, I took off this whole past weekend. I took off for a wedding. So, but I I don't know. I enjoy it. And those short notice incentives add up, and the trial conversions. Oh my gosh, so it's worth it. And I'm trying to work up to where if I can just like short notice the PPT slots and then maybe 1 or 2 priority bookings a day, then I could maybe not wake up as early.
There's a trade-off, which is exactly is what I did. Because of the short notice booking, I know it's about you guys, not me, but because of the short notice booking, I didn't have to surrender that hour to the daylight savings, which was nice, which actually might actually getting me moved. My husband said I might be able to come up from out of the basement now because I'm not waking up so early, which means I'm not waking him up so early. Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Beth, can you share where you're at now?
Well, I think this has been kind of the same since I started. When you're in charge of your own schedule and you're in charge of how much you work, there's an element of experimentation to it to find out what works for me, how many can I do in a row, what's my sweet spot. And so I've been going back and forth. Probably September, I was doing Monday through Saturday mornings because I just didn't want to work at night. But then I was like, I want to sleep in 2 days in a row. So I stopped teaching Saturdays and I went short notice Friday nights. And then that kind of was a little addicting because, hey, I'm getting paid, $2 extra for this kid, where if they had asked me to teach, it would have been $2 less. So that has kind of creeped into my Friday mornings. So now on Friday mornings, I only accept priority bookings from kids I want to teach. And that's horrible, but hey, it's my business. It's what I want to do.
You couldn't do that in your old school.
No, I could not. Oh my God. So I tried the past month. I've tried to just do priority booking with short notice filled in. But I think if we're talking about goals, one of my main goals with switching to VIP Kid was to bring some happiness and joy back to my life because I didn't have that in my brick and mortar. So one of the things that I personally love is I love seeing my regulars. I have some kids, I'm not married to them. Like I don't see the same kids every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday. That's not how it is. But I have certain kids that, I see them on my schedule and I get so happy. And that's what I was missing. So I'm probably going to go back to doing Monday through Thursday, priority booking, and then opening for the frenzy. Because I have a couple who like to get in that don't use priority booking, no matter how many times I mention it to them. And then I'll save my Fridays for short notice. And then I'm probably going to add back in a Saturday, either morning or night. I'm not sure yet for short notice. But
I do accept priority bookings, but there are some that I don't accept.
And I've started using it as you need to read your feedback that I leave you. I have one little dude that love him to pieces, but his behavior stinks in class. So I left feedback for mom. Please watch the class. Remind him that it's important for teacher to see his mouth, so he needs to be sitting up. And then I denied his priority booking request. Next class I had with him, mom was there. He sat up, he participated, and I accepted the priority booking.
Awesome.
So it's just one of those, like, it's a give and take, and I use it kind of to help me fill my schedule with classes I want to teach. Because I want to make money, but I also want to enjoy it. So it's finding that balance of what works for you.
So now the both of you obviously use this thing. I don't know. Is it called Google Slides? I don't know if I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
Now, when I talk about people, what you need to do is remember that your classroom is a business, right? You're not selling just like, VIP Kid is selling VIP Kid. So what you're selling and what's setting you different from somebody else or making that perfect match is that entire classroom experience. And so as I look at your classroom, Megan, and I look at Beth's classroom, and, from looking at my classroom, there's the element that I see is that regardless if you use Google Slides or not, before anything comes up on the screen, you have an inviting, you have a welcoming environment. So you have something where the parents are saying that you've invested in your business. Well, it isn't required. You don't have to have this. It will make a difference. So let's talk a little bit about Google Slides. Now, not everybody has the ability to use Google Slides, so we won't stay on it too long, but it changed up your classroom. At some point, you went ahead and tried something new. So how did that affect your classroom? How did it affect your booking? How did it affect your feedback and the just general flow of your classrooms? Can you touch on that, Megan?
Yeah. So I started, I still have it right here. This is a weird story, but like, so I have my iPad, right? And I found myself like during class, a lot of the times I would just like be Googling pictures cause I taught mainly upper levels. And so I would be just pulling up pictures real quick to show them, just to, I guess, reinforce things. And then I also started using my iPad to use like Decision Roulette and a couple of other apps, for games and stuff. But I had a really horrible background setup, like when I first started, because I was not against a wall. So I was using Manicam to, I green screened just a little tiny bit, but then it just didn't work out. But I used it to like make, a border and spruce it up a little bit. And I never put the two and two together. Like, oh, I could use, like pictures on Manicam. And so that was probably like in, I guess, November or October, November, around when I first started. And I started trying to keep track of like, what pictures I used for what lessons and things like that. And it was just really disorganized. And then I had always used Google Slides in my brick and mortar classroom for like group projects and worksheets and like just really intricate things. And it was just like a eureka moment one day when I was like, wait a minute, why am I sitting here like saving things into albums on my camera roll on my iPad, like this doesn't make sense. And so I started putting stuff just for lesson props onto Google Slides and saving the lesson essay with them and, being a little more organized with it. And then I started using it with Manicam, and then it just kind of took off from there. And then we had a group where just like our resources just exploded. Beth joined our group and she started making rewards on Google Slides, and it just kind of morphed from there. And now I use Google Slides for like every class that I teach. I teach a lot of trials because I do short notice my weekends, so I do teach a lot of trials, and I use Google Slides in pretty much all of my trials for rewards and for just additional examples and things. But I would say that the effects that I saw from the get-go when I was using even just my iPad, when I was using additional examples and using technology to extend the lesson, not just to make it convenient for me, but to extend and engage. Just my students loved it. I got lots of positive parent feedback. I think that it wasn't just Google Slides, because obviously I was growing as a teacher, an online teacher, but I was using technology to enhance the lesson. I think that's the heart of it, is that, we don't want to make it we don't want to use it for just convenience sake. It is convenient, but to enhance the lesson and make sure that our students are benefiting from it, in an academic way.
I joined the Google Slides group pretty quickly after it was created. I saw it posted in the Oklahoma group, which is where I live. And I joined and kind of watched for a little while, trying to figure out how would I use this. And then I think my very first one that I made was for the level 1 class on surfing. And I was like, they can only see me from here up. How am I going to show surfing? And so I found some GIFs of surfing and I made a prop slide, and I was like, oh, this works. And the kids responded to it really well. And at that time I was showing them on my phone. And then once I started making rewards, I used my iPad for it. I've since went to Manicam and now Cam Twist. And
we converted her to the dark side.
Yes, I'm now a Mac user.
I'm kidding.
I love it. But I noticed right away, especially with my littles, I think sometimes people think that pre-VIP, don't use Google Slides, use your toys. And I do. I use 3D props every day. I'm kind of a hybrid teacher. I am a little bit of everything. And I always want to be prepared if something goes wrong in class, that I still have something that I can use. But my pre-VIP is like watching the haka, not just teacher banging on her chest. It made a big difference for my kids. And now that I'm teaching upper level kids, let's face it, some of the grammar slides and stuff within the PPT for VIP kids, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing because they put a lot of text on the screen. And so I found being able to just simplify it on my Google slide helps a ton. And I do still spend a lot of time making rewards. That's kind of where I got my start. But the best parent feedback I get is from using my prop slides, because it pulls some of that output that you want from them out of them, especially in level 2 interactive, where there's not necessarily the sentence frame on the screen or whatever. Being able to pull it up and actually use my mouse to finger touch or finger read with the kids has really helped. And I think it's kind of a marketing thing, because that's my thing. If you come to my class, you're going to see puppets and you're going to see play food, but you're also going to see little mini movies on the screen, and teacher's going to pop down in the corner. And it's just one little thing to make you a little bit different to a parent. But I think what Megan said is super important. They're very convenient and they're very fun to use, but they should never be a crutch.
Yeah,
you shouldn't say, oh, I've got those prop slides, I can just throw that up and be like, sir.
Nope.
Look, he's surfing. Look.
Right. Like anything, it's all part of presentation, right?
Yes,
it's all part of your flow. And as long as you're natural in your classroom, then everything can go in naturally.
Right.
But you're right.
Yeah, and bottom line, a parent's not going to book you because you have a cool puppet. A parent's not going to book you because you have a squeaky hamburger or because you have a Google slide. They're going to book you because of who you are as an online teacher. Are you able to get the kids' attention? Are you able to teach them the lesson content effectively? Do they leave your class knowing something that they didn't necessarily know before?
Awesome.
So it's about you as a teacher, no matter what tools or words you use. It's about you.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. So we're going to switch over to short. These are going to be short, quick answers. So it's almost like a little speed round. First up, favorite prop. Other than Google Slides, your favorite prop.
Where is it? Hold on.
Squeaky hamburger.
I bet you should.
All the way.
No, they're just like donuts, but I don't know. There are like so many little tricks that I can do with them. Like for the pre-VIP trial, I like to use these for the colors and stuff. And I like that there's a little bite taken out of them. I'm like, did you do this? And then, Dino. And he's like, oh yeah, Dino did it. But my donuts are very, very versatile.
Good. Favorite lesson?
Oh man, how animals move.
Awesome. Beth?
Life on the farm.
Least favorite lesson?
Oh, stranger danger.
Oh yeah.
I was literally about to say that. That's really weird because anyway.
I would take mammals and birds every day, all day over stranger danger.
Yeah, I like mammals and birds. I would have to say the school one in level 3, I'm doing well at school. I do not like that. I do not like it. Followed up by the birthday with the decorations and the directions, like those two. And oh no, just yeah.
All right, awesome. Your prep time in the mornings. You wake up from the. All right, here we go. Time from waking up to time to teaching is
an hour.
An hour?
Well, do you mean like getting ready, or do you mean like prepping for actual class?
Let's do it 2 ways. Your time from wake up to your time to getting on camera.
1 hour.
1 hour. All right. And your prep time for your classes.
I don't want to say.
That's tricky.
I think it's different for us.
I think for an average Google Slides user, it's 20 to 45 minutes.
Maybe not even.
Yes.
Like
I was gonna say, but
for us,
well, for you, I mean, we're literally talking about you, like you specifically. It's okay, ain't no shame in your game.
If I am done with work for the day by 11, I'm good.
Yeah,
and that includes making prop slides, editing, moving things to Drive, all of that.
Okay.
I would say for just my classes, prepping for just my classes.
Just your classes, yeah.
45 minutes.
Okay.
Probably. Maybe a little longer, actually. If it depends, because me and Beth are both very, very picky about, well, I wouldn't say picky. That sounds negative, but I'm really particular about how my files and things like that look. And so I'll totally remix something if it's not good.
And I have a personal goal that I will have a Google slide made for every lesson in level 1, 2, and 3. So I will use other people's stuff for 4 and 5, and I will for 6. I'll definitely be using Megan's stuff. But I challenged myself to that I wanted to have my own stuff that I made. And so, and then I'm always opening up my old stuff and going, oh, well, that could use this and this and this.
Right.
If I wanted to, I could be prepped and ready for the next day in a half hour. But
word of advice for anybody in the group that has just started in the past 3 months.
Find a balance for what works for you. The money is great, but if you are falling asleep at your desk or getting sick because you're waking up not getting enough sleep, find a balance and get sleep. And
that's what I mean by be happy, is like take care of yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. And your challenges for 2019, your goals or your challenge is for your business, for
my business. I would love to at some point have a secondary position with a company. I'm just going to say that. I would love for that to happen, because that would just allow me to work with new teachers or work on new products or anything. I think that's something that I would like to see happen at some point.
I would say my goals would be to cut back an hour in the morning, and I really want to get a secondary. Well, I mean, I accepted one just recently, but I'd love to be a mock class mentor.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much for your time. That's awesome. It was so great to get to know you. And thank you for stepping up as the first, not the only challenge.
It's exciting.
It's fun. I hope to do it more often. So we have so many amazing people in this group that comes from, we have teachers that have been here 3 going on 4 years. We have brand new teachers and, different levels of goals. And I think it's just amazing and a safe haven for people to be able to just really say, hey, I'm achieving this, I'm doing this, or can you help me achieve this and do this, and not feel like they're being judged or bragging or anything else. It's our business. So if you can't talk about your business, then, you're really stifled, I think. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thanks.
Okay, so let's fast forward a year later.
Hey, I'm going to pause for a sec. Hold on. Because my cat is like, I don't know if you can hear it. Can y'all hear that?
Is he puking?
No. Hi.
Thank
you.
Oh.
Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, look at
the blonde cat again. Oh, so cute. Hello.
This is my little pot.
Hi, Mello.
Okay.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah. He's wanting that, so I'm trying to figure out what that is. Hang on.
You should get that. You should get that.
Oh, I think it's a cat.
I ring Josh's bell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
Or how I call for coffee or water. Ding, 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 ding.
You got to get one.
It rings next to his bed. Yeah. Lifesaver.
Just go on Amazon, and they're like literally $15, and it's like a wireless doorbell.
It actually says invalid in the title. Because I needed something that wouldn't be just a doorbell, because he won't wake up. So mine plays songs.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Now it's set to My Heart Will Go On.
You two are my favorite. But I have teenagers, so like literally when I'm on the side, I'm just like, you text anybody and somebody will come. Usually with what?
No, I thought she was. I won't say that.
My secret identity.
Sorry.
What?
Wait. Forgot.